Aloha, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. This is Jason Schwartz, your host. We are the Maui Arts and Music Association, the Dream Makers Foundation, People Aligned in Positive Action. I bring all that up because you thought this was just the neutral zone. The MauiNeutralZone.com is really, take the cloak, the Maui Arts and Music Association. And this year we're going to be celebrating in a big way. And the biggest way we can start is with a fantastic guest who was with us here before. There we go. This is GWYN GORG. GWYN, aloha and happy 2022.
Aloha and happy 2022 and happy new you.
Yeah. Now, when we were on before, that was less than a year ago, I think, right? Over a year ago, maybe?
Over a year. Yeah, it was more than a year ago. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. And you were in transition. I know your husband had passed, Alan, and you're now on the Big Island, and we're
yes,
very, very, very glad to see you. And you're looking beautiful and happy, and that's a great thing to see. How's everything going over there?
Life's good. Life is really good. You know,
I've been hearing in the ethers that you have a new book.
I do. My new book is called Darlene's Awakening. And, yeah, that's one I just finished. I'm actually working on two other books right now simultaneously. I'm working on a children's book as well as a poetry book. So I'm writing all the time. And as you mentioned, my husband died July 31st, 2020. 2 weeks before he died, my oldest daughter died, July 14th. So it's been quite a transition. We moved here to the Big Island, and the writing is what keeps me alive and feeling as if I'm making positive contributions, not just to the world, but for myself, because I've learned that, you know, there's so many transitions. And for me, life is eternal. And I know my daughter and my husband are well, as much as I miss them, but I know they're fine because they were such good people. You know, they dedicated their lives to making this planet better, and not just the United States, but the planet. I say that, and I'm very aware of what, when I reference that, they wanted to help all people all over the world. And so I know they're good. And so because of that, some days I think and how I miss them physically, but I know they're okay. And as a result of that, it's helped me to become stronger and realize that there's still work to do. And so in writing my books, I just feel like I've got something to offer, to have a voice to say to people, we've got to understand the importance of love. We've got to understand the importance of forgiveness. We have to understand the importance of being a good example. You know, we sit and we talk about them and they and blah, blah, and we don't have to be the president or the governor or anyone. Just in our own simple way, we set good examples in everything we do, everyone we talk to. And we're not all perfect. We're not expected to be perfect, but we are expected to do our very best as often as we can. And when I say forgiveness, forgive ourselves also. We forgive others, but forgive ourselves. We make mistakes. We sometimes say things and we wonder, why did I, or at least I do, I wonder, why did I say that? Or why did I do that? Or blah, 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 blah. And I know when I get quiet, I just forgive myself and move on. And hopefully I don't keep doing the same things over and over and over and over, you know? And yeah.
Well, you know, it sounds like you've been reading out of my playbook. That's a great thing.
Oh, great. Great.
You know, there's something about alignment with truth and what is. That's a very settling presence. And in a world that's so physical, the world often judges by what's going on around us in a physical and tangible way. Your conversation about your son, your husband and your daughter.
Yeah. Yes.
Being present and still there and know they were good people. There's a transition. There's I sometimes wonder, where does New Age and truth, stand? What people evaluate. What you just said was like a credo for living. You spoke it so eloquently. That's, every time I touch your books or I speak to you, I feel a tremendous elegance in teaching people, sharing with people about something more than physical.
Yeah, yeah.
Talking of love and the way this universe revolves around things that aren't only physical, and it just really elevates me.
I feel that as the human species, we make it so complicated, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, I think my understanding that life is very, very simple. Some of us get so caught up in wanting material things and wanting to think we're better than someone else or we're less than someone else because we've never had the time to sit and be quiet. And once we get quiet, we don't have to ask. Everything is revealed. And for me, the simplicity of this life is be good to myself, be good to others. How am I good to myself? Well, I am very concerned about what I put in my body. I eat well. I get enough rest. I drink water. I exercise and I take care of myself. And then I extend that to others. If I can be good to myself and be good to others, respect the planet, and just open up to all the blessings, it's a very simple, happy life. And we just make it so complicated. So much of the time, we're just so not in love with ourselves. And when I say in love, I don't mean from an egotistical perspective, thinking I'm better than you, I'm less than you. I don't mean that. Just knowing that someone asked me the other day, so Gwen, they said, I don't know how to define myself. Do you? I said, oh, absolutely. I know how to define myself. They said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, basically, I'm a good person. I don't hurt others. I don't hurt myself. I respect others. I respect the planet. I understand that we have obligations. Our obligations are to not be destructive, not be self-destructive. Try to spread whatever we can to have people, give people a smile. Even if you're walking on the street and you see the homeless, most dragged looking person who looks like they've just given up, at least offer a smile. But we're so afraid of each other. Everybody's so afraid. I still have people, when I'm in certain places, grab their purses or and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. You have no idea that I'm a person who would never do harm to you, or nor would I think negative, ugly thoughts about you, So I think if we could just understand the simplicity of this life, it would be so much better, so much easier. There's enough for everybody on this planet. It's amazing that I was looking the other day, some of these celebrities, they have these huge homes they live in, and all of these cars, 15, 20 cars, and a house with 15 or 20 rooms. And it's so excessive. And then the contrast, you see so many people who are homeless, and people say, well, they should get a job. It's not that easy for everyone. It's not black and white. It's not they should get a job. Some people need assistance. And I'm saying, if there's something you can do, just smile. You don't have to stop and be engaged in their life journey. Just smile, because what I do know for a fact, we are given obstacles in our lives. We are given obstructions so we can look at ourselves. We can see, well, who am I? And to me, that's always the number one question to ask. Who am I? In whatever relation it is, ask yourself, who am I? What kind of person am I? Am I afraid? Am I afraid, so afraid that fear overtakes my body and I don't make wise decisions? You've got to know that there's nothing to be afraid of. You just have to relax and realize life is absolutely wonderful. Life is, and I know there are people at the borders who are trying to get across. There are people who don't have food. There are people who are abused. They also have a role to play from my perspective in this life. They have a role, and their role is wherever they are at this place in their realization, that's who they get to be, and I get to be. Who am I in relation to them? Am I generous? Am I frightened? Am I abusive? What's my relationship? How do we continually evolve in the midst of all the hardships and all of the incredible pain that we go through on this planet? If we can just sit from them. People ask me, I turned 80 years old in August, 80. I'm so glad. I feel great. I feel absolutely wonderful. I dance. I ride my bicycle. I do fun things because I know that life, for one thing, I know that life's eternal. But the other thing that I know is don't be fooled by, oh, my body's so this. I can't do this. I can't do that. Get quiet and you'll get answers. And just know, put good things in your body. Stay away from so much sugar and so much of the stuff that's going to deplete your body. Just stay away from those things. You have to make a conscious decision. You have to be strong. Too much fried food, especially as you get older. All of that stuff you put in your body is clogging your arteries, high blood pressure, heart attacks, cancer. All of those things have a detrimental effect. We have to know how to, like Yogananda would always say, everything in moderation. Okay, sometimes have a little bit, but don't abuse yourself. This is your temple. Here's something I say to people. When you study the science, you realize we are made up of billions of cells. Billions of cells comprise this, billions of cells.
Brilliant.
And I say to people, if I'm not queen anyplace else, I'm queen of this. I'm queen of me and all of these cells. And they did some studies. Greg Braden shared how they did some studies and they isolated the cells. Now imagine over 350 billion cells that make us who we are. They isolated cells and each cell had its own independence. Each cell was very autonomous. Each cell had some level of consciousness. So if that's who we are, how we're made up, and I feel like I am the queen of all of whatever this is that makes me, I want to take my very best care so that we can all function well and harmoniously. And people, if you're listening to me right now, be happy, find something to be joyous about, find something. And if you don't know what to do, my suggestion, be quiet, shut up, just be quiet and just go and sit by yourself. Allow yourself that. Don't ask questions. Don't try to figure out anything. Just be quiet. It can be meditation or whatever it is. And if you find yourself getting distracted, breathe in, pay attention to your breath. Just breathe in. Don't ask questions. Get quiet. And everything you need to know, everything you want to know, it's right here already. You are perfect. We are perfect. You talk about creation or whatever it is. There are no mistakes. We make the mistakes by the way in which we think. That's our biggest obstacle, the way we think about things, the way we perceive things. Just know that it's a wonderful, wonderful, incredible opportunity that we have to shine. Just love yourself, love others. And the other thing you have to understand and realize, okay, so people might not like me. They may not love me. That's none of my business. They don't have to like me. That's their stuff. I like me. You don't like me? That's your stuff. You don't have to like me. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to love me, extend love to you. If you don't accept it, well, I just do it because that's who I am. That's who I represent. Your philosophy about not liking me because I'm black, I'm white, I'm green, I'm fat, I'm poor, I'm whatever I am. You don't like me, that's none of my business. And the minute that you can resolve that and work it out for yourself, you're going to be happy. You're going to be happier. You know, we take it too serious. Let me give you an example. There was one time I was in the civil rights movement. I'll never forget this. It was in retrospect, it was really hilarious. This guy called me a nigger. And I know people say, don't say that word. Well, to me, it's ridiculous. It's just a word. He called me a nigger. And I looked at him. This was a white guy in the South. I looked at him and I called him a nigger. And when I think about it now, it was so absolutely ridiculous because it just proved about the words. But he was so shocked when I turned it around and said it to him. He did not know what else to say. And that's what I'm saying to you. Don't take it so seriously. You know, don't take it. I've got women friends who are very, 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 very much into women and hating men. Don't hate men. Don't hate. You guys don't hate. When I was a little girl, I was not allowed. Yes.
How did you and when did you didn't just suddenly get this. This is an evolving being, this Gwen George that I see. When did you come out of the show? What gave you the strength and the power to, and what made you realize this? Obviously, you know, you now have numbers of years. When I first met you, I met you around the conference room at the Maui Community College before it became a university. And you were there with Alan, your husband, and I thought you were running the meeting and you were just so together. And you're now expressing. Before, you felt like you were, you know, there, and you were already obviously light years ahead of where you began. But how did this all happen? You're just, right now, I just feel you're just glowing and spreading that love and getting no barriers.
Part of it, when I grew up, my mother did not allow us to use the word hate. I couldn't use that word ever. And so that sort of is embedded in my psyche. Then I met my husband, Alan, a white man in the civil rights movement. We knew each other 3 weeks. When he died in 2020, July 31st, we had been married 57 years, which is rare, but we learned together. You know, when we would have dinner at our home with our children, 5 children and their significant others, it was like the United Nations. And we taught our kids, you recognize the oneness in all of us. I don't care what your culture or ethnicity, doesn't matter. You're my sister or my brother. So we've learned that. And when Alan and I came together, we recognized that. And that was what we attempted to share with, you know, with everyone, you know. So it's not new. It's just that finally I've decided that I've got the responsibility to say something, because when I hear so much, there's so much, you know, just think of what happened last year. We've got all the police killing Black men and these people people hating Asians because of the COVID ridiculousness. All of this, everything that can separate us. And we have to realize, no. We're all one. We are all one. And if we can recognize that and appreciate it and love each other as sisters and brothers, instead of being afraid of each other and having all of these, oh God, it's frustrating to me because it's so simple. It's just so simple. I love you. You don't love me? Well, maybe one day you will. Doesn't matter. I love you anyway. I love you, you know? You're going to kill me. Oh, that's your problem. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid, you know? Love. You know, I've got a poem or two I'd like to read. May I?
Please.
Here's a poem I call, and especially now at New Year's when everybody's making resolutions and saying, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, and blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, for a few weeks later, they fall right back into the same pattern. This is called A Lost and Found Me. Searching for myself in a forest, a flying fowl perched atop cloud-touching trees, releasing their melodies. I meander through densely populated wooded areas, thorny berry bushes obstructing narrow paths, prickly intrusions like wild thoughts prevent my forward flow. Looking for myself under a canopy of cloudless skies with endlessly blended directions, free from gloom-filled realities, a confused me with heavily burdened thoughts, heavily placed feet, disturbing carpets of foliage as whispering leaves blanketing the landscape gently succumb to the earth's calling. My search continues. I walk along suspended in an unreal dream of yesterday's memories, sun rays streaking through branches, a boundless vitality of trees reaching for the sun's blessings. Pristine, unhindered streams flow freely, bordered in glimmers of a hopeful continuity. Clutching myself, circling around myself, a newly realized me manifests as pureness, and promises of clarity remind me of the need for self-trust. I roam northward. I wander southward. I go east. I move west. Each direction, here I am. I embrace a soul-soothing solace with wind-cleansed visions that bring rose petal fragrances, lavender memories, jasmine delights that lead to harmonious reflections, brightening the way. Obstructions vanish. No escape from the real me. I breathe in. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I embrace me. And that's called A Lost and Found Me.
Wow. Powerful. Is that in the new book or is that an older book?
No, that's coming out in the new poetry book.
Let me see the cover.
It's not ready yet.
Okay.
It's still getting ready for publishing.
Oh, well, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That message is a beautiful one, and how you explore it and in the colors and textures of our universe. I sense you're a very powerful and important communicator. Yeah, people have been asking about you. What kind of places do you recite your poetry there on the Big Island, or how's that going?
Yeah, I'm at a Zoom group of poets, and I'm with a group in Los Angeles of poets and all, and then I'm with Melinda Gone on Maui. I'm part of that, but I'm called quite often now to do poetry, which is fun. I love it. I just have fun, and I just write poetry continuously. So.
I think that's actually that was the doorway through Melinda and the poets. That was an injury. I had a spot on the Maui County. I forgot what it was called, about the arts, and that's when the Maui Peace Poem was just started. I think I was on number 10 or 11, and it was really an experience growing with them. So many beautiful people that express themselves through poetry. What a beautiful, and I don't even think of it as an art. It comes right out. I mean, we could name names of all these great poets in Maui and around the world. Well, could you give us another one? Would you mind sharing another poem?
Absolutely. And one thing before we move on, what I wanted to suggest to anyone who will be watching this, find yourself a creative output. Do something creative for yourself. I talk to so many people my age. I'm surprised. Well, I don't do anything creative. Well, do something creative. Whatever it is, get a piece of paper and some crayons, just do some colors. It doesn't have to look like anything. It doesn't have to please anyone but you. I work in my garden continuously. I've got little chickens that I rescued. Now I've got these babies that follow me all around the yard. I've got cats. A cat adopted me. I wasn't, I had children, I had pets. I was done with the pets, but now I've got cats, and now I feed the wild turkeys here. So there are turkeys in my yard every morning. And one day I was sitting here at my computer looking out the window, and Jason, about 12 pigs walked down the road. There are some big ones and some little ones and some teenagers. And, you know, like I'm saying, I'm just enjoying life. I'm just loving it. But anyway, I'll read another poem. I've got Remembering. I've got Unadulterated Bliss. I've got My Heart, which I just finished last night. And I have Newly Realized Self. So I'm not sure. Does any of that seem to?
All the subjects. I think My Heart would be a nice one for me.
My Heart. Okay. Yeah, I just did that one. My heart. My heart ignites flames that burn away cold, dreary times with blankets of snow-covered consciousness, produce avalanches that block my path when clarity takes a detour. My heart opens to nature's offerings. Songbirds echo steady melodies. Roaring waterfalls surge into crystal clear pools. Gardenias perfume my path. My heart swells with delight. An expansive joy fills my acceptance. I float into undefinable realms, steady my balance, grasp imaginary strings suspended from the heavens. My heart responds to the amazement with an easy access, glistens with unexplored awareness, releases sparks which dissolve shadows. Blessed, undistorted acceptance vanishes darkness. Wondrous sensations traverse the bright light, illuminate a sweet path where heavy imprints leave no impression. My heart surrenders to the available goodness within easy access. Newness is constantly revealed. This blessed life journey, the immensity of this limitless creation provides joyous moments to live for. Each twinkling offers new adventures as I walk into the next. My heart succumbs to sensations devoid of explanations. Words become insignificant. Feelings go way beyond the reasonable. Steady rhythms harmonize with the earth's resonance. Sweetness reminds me of the unexplainable magnificence. My soul is heir to. My heart. That's it.
Beautiful. So that's a book that we don't even have a cover for. So the one that we had a cover for, is that a novella, a novel?
It's a novel and it's on Amazon. And let's see, it's called Darlene's Awakening. It's on Amazon. Just type in GWYN GORG or Darlene's Awakening. Or if you go to my website, which is GWYNGORG.com.
Yeah, I'm going to put it up on screen, but GWYN is GWYN.
Yes.
Has it been that for a long time?
It's been that since I was in high school and didn't want to be like anyone else.
Well, it's beautiful. It's great. You are not like anyone else that I've met. You're a really special lady.
Well, yeah.
And I remember when I first met you, I thought, wow. And I remember that I really was attracted to both of you guys. You were just such an interesting and dynamic couple. And you know, I don't even remember what that meeting was, but I remember it was a small and mighty organizing meeting. And I don't know how I ended up there, but that was a fun time. The world is an interesting, growing place. When it was 30 years ago, I have a guy on my board, and you may know Rayfield Johnson, maybe a common name to you, but Reverend Rayfield Johnson on my board, and he talks about the civil rights movement, and we look at where we are now. What do you see going on? I mean, we sure have, seems like in my lifetime, I'm a little younger than you, not very much, a decade. Things sure have shifted. Seemed like it was getting better. I thought when President Obama was here, we'd reach a different age. It seemed that Donald Trump unraveled and created a whole other paradigm. We still hold on to that because it's our truth about love, and there is no separation. Yeah. What do you see happening? What's your experience over your lifetime? What's going on, you think?
Well, I must say that I was a little shocked because I was very idealistic when I was younger. And I was, had all these visions and dreams of the way the world was. And then after, since I've become older, I've come to the realization that on this planet, this is part of what it's all about. There is separation. There are people who are learning and growing, and it's a little better. There are more opportunities, but even so, a lot of the same things exist. People, if people have not learned to love themselves in an honest manner, they can't love anyone else. They can say, I love me, but until you can love yourself and appreciate everyone else and not see separation, it'll never change. And so, and until you have people, you have the haves and the have nots. And so you're always going to have crime, because if you watch the movies on the TV, most people in the movies are living very comfortably in their fancy homes. So then you've got all these people wanting a piece of that. They want to connect with materialism. People have gotten so confused. They think if you have materialism, you've got power, and they don't realize that's not what power is. And when you have people like Donald Trump and people who subscribe to that philosophy of separation, and people feeling as if they're superior because they really have not found the true meaning of themselves in this life. Obama, he was another politician. He was a Black politician, and we had a lot of hope because, well, maybe that would change. And what it did do, it certainly helped to get a lot of people angry and helped a lot of other people come together and show their hate. And then you have Donald Trump, another one, showing, it's just so bizarre. It's just so bizarre. And until we can all realize our connection to the source and realize that's where the real power lies, if we're all wanting to think we're better, that I don't care who you are, you're no better than I am. I don't care how much you have acquired, you're no better than I am. And if we could all appreciate that and realize I'm as good as anyone, you're as good as anyone, we are wonderful. We are no mistakes. We are not mistakes. And I am so glad this lifetime that I get to be Black, African American, whatever you want to name it. I don't care, because as a result of that, I've gotten to look at things differently and realize my responsibility is one of kindness and forgiveness, and realizing I don't have to be like they are. I don't have to be like the haters. I don't have to be like those people. I can just be my wonderful self and be grateful that I get to be me. And I am. I'm grateful that I get to be GWYN GORG, 80 years old, who understands the importance of love and kindness. I'm happy that I get to share that. I'm happy, but like I said before, anybody who's confused, just get quiet. People ask me, Gwen, at 80 years old, what advice do you have? I said, I don't have any advice except be quiet. That's the advice I give you. Go and be by yourself and be quiet and just give yourself some moments, and you'll get your answers, you'll get your, but no, Jason, in answer to your question, no, this is not new for me.
No.
It's just now I've decided I'll say a few things because I'm writing and all, but no, it's not new. Just
Well, that's why I think I was so happy to have you back on our show here again, because you come out with a message, your genuine message. There's no mask. And your message of love and unity lives in me. It just feels very natural. What a blessing to me to start off 2022 with you.
May I say one
Please.
more thing?
Absolutely.
Another thing that's really important for all of us who can understand it is realize We are all at different levels of consciousness. We're all at different levels of awareness. It doesn't mean I'm better or less than. It's just that the awareness that I might have is not the awareness that someone else has. And so, what is my responsibility? To be patient. Just be patient. Just be patient. I've got an awareness that maybe my neighbor doesn't have, or they have an awareness that maybe I don't have. But if we can be patient with each other and realize we are all on a path towards our evolution, we are all on a path of our awareness, just like Darlene. We're becoming more and more aware, more and more evolved, and it's part of our path on this planet Earth. Just be aware that it's all about levels of awareness and consciousness. And then you can be easier on yourself and others and find in your heart to be a kinder person. That's about it.
Well, you know, your words, you speak those words through all that you are, like you say. If we can just be that and express it in every moment,
Yeah.
with the newness of every moment, we have the joy of our life. And that expression, I often had put it in the context of instantly forgive people, you know, in the context of religion, where, you know, there's the good and the bad. There is, to me, it's just forgiveness. And like you say, different levels of awakening awareness
Yes.
of who and what we are. And that, I hear the word love out of all kinds of people. And I just like to bring up, when you see love, you can see love all over in many ways, many forms, many, it is a great thing, you know. I guess it's just living it, you know. If you live it, you don't have to remember, or there's nothing to remember or keep track of, or I'm here, you're there.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
being.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just be it. Be the love you want to see. Just represent it. You know.
Well, as it's happening, it's a freedom that is unparalleled in anything I've experienced.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly it. It gives you a freedom that lets you know that it's all okay, whatever.
And you are you, and
you.
it's an amazing thing. And you know, I keep saying love. You know, some people say, "Oh, you guys are too woo woo, softy." Love is a very powerful. I mean, why did Einstein come to the conclusion that the universe is love?
Yeah.
I don't know if people have studied that terribly much, but the people that we respect, that identify things in the physical, that come to realize something greater than the physical. Yeah. And for it to come out to be love.
Love. Very simple. Very, very simple. We just we just make it so complicated. And I'm thinking, as I've grown older, I'm thinking, come on, you guys, it's not that complicated. It's very simple, you know. I've got another poem that I want to read. It's called
Great.
Unadulterated Bliss. Okay. In my quiet reflections, I grasp hold of me, appreciate the magnificent unfolding, endlessly available as I quiet my wantings. Mother Nature's beauty in all its offerings harmonizes, vibrates as the winds rustle, eternal rhythm of the waves ebbing and flowing. I am filled with undulating joy. Words become insignificant. Songs of sorrow dissipate as sun and raindrops produce rainbows that reflect inspiring glory. I become more aware of credulous possibilities, sitting in the wings, awaiting openings to display luminosity. I absorb the gifts, become one with all, release sparks that continually ignite an undefinable relationship with the goodness that is forever present. Light radiates from my words, deeds, thoughts, obscuring shadows that block my sparkle. The morning sun radiates my sense of me. The evening sun glows in my awareness, affirming a connection with the infinite, invisible force that governs all. I dance, sing, leap into boundless spaces where prevailing truth, laughter, joy transports me into a blanket of pure, unadulterated bliss. And that's
Wow. That's it. Yeah.
it.
Well, you are a pleasure to just being around. Your energy here is all getting good. What are you? Do you have anything that you'd like to leave these people? I think that our audience is a growing audience, and you're speaking to the people of the world, because that's our audience, is people aligned and continually getting aligned with this lightness by getting to know themselves better. And you're a great pathway to that. What's your website one more time? Spell it for our audience so they get it.
GWYN GWYN GORG George.com. GWYNGeorge.com.
That's very melodic, very easy.
Yeah.
Are everything of that all your books available through there? And as they come, I'm sure people can be in touch with you.
Yes,
that,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes.
Any other message in the moment? I mean, you've given us a lot of message today, but to me, it all boils down to one simple thing. But I really think that I'd like you to give I want to say I don't want to leave anything out that you'd like to let people know here as we're beginning this year.
All I can think of is find a way to be happy, be in joy, appreciate yourself, be easier on yourself. Don't be so critical of yourself. Just relax, 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 breathe in and relax more. Smile, dance. Oh, that's one of the things I forgot to say. I dance. I dance as often as I can. I move all parts of my body. I dance, and it just makes me feel so much better. I think it's Michael Beckwith says, dance to not grow old. You grow old by not dancing. So dance, just dance. You know, if you can only move your arm, if you can only move your shoulder, whatever it is, move something. Don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself thinking, I'm old. Just don't do it. Be happy, be enjoy, and laugh. Tell some jokes. Find some really silly jokes and laugh. Don't watch all that serious stuff. Stop watching all that ugly stuff on the news and horrible movies. Don't put that stuff into your psyche. Don't do it. Don't do it. It affects you. Find something that's life affirming. That's what I like. Life affirming. Look out at the sky, the trees, something that's life affirming. Be happy, be happy. Find a way to be happy, be enjoy, laugh, and smile, and spread your beautiful, lovely, wonderful selves. Aloha.
Well, Gwen, thank you. GWYN Georg, you are a welcome guest. I hope you'll come visit us again. Absolutely. And you really are a perfect way to start off this 2022 year with a positive message, one that I hope just continually spreads throughout this universe, and that we're walking into a greater world as we all come to better understand ourselves. And thank you for expressing it so well here with me here today.
Thank you.
And to our audience out there, come back and check out all kinds of people on our site, and back and forth, and you're part of this. Our future is you, because we together are incredibly powerful, and anything that we want to do can be if we just we're doing it right now. We're perceiving it and we're part of it. And Gwen, I just want to thank you. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And you guys out there, we'll see you again. Happy New Year and aloha.
Okay.